Hi, it's Yoli Medina again, and I wanted to highlight this case in California, in Northern California, and it's the Nikki McCain Missing Persons case. Now, this case has a lot of twists and turns, more than I thought. It involves casinos, tribal land, wildfires, and domestic violence. Uh, One of the things is I wish I was closer to where this happened because I'm in Southern California and this is in Northern California. So I could help with searches. Now, Nikki McCain, um, she was a victim of domestic violence. She had been married to her husband, Tyler McCain, for 16 years, and they had children. Nikki was really small. I mean, she was like 5 feet and weighed 100 pounds, so she was tiny. Tyler, of course, was much bigger. And I won't go into the horrific abuse that this woman suffered, but I will say that it involved her being tied up, beaten, and she was able to escape because, well, from her own home, because her husband got tired of beating her. And when he got tired, she took that opportunity to escape. So the children were already placed with family members because they had a rocky relationship. So the children weren't there. But Nikki went to her family and reported what happened, and immediately after, is my understanding, and her family told her to go to the hospital. So Nikki was in the hospital, and her injuries and everything was documented. And, her husband was charged with domestic violence charges. I think it was false imprisonment, assault charges, and other. I think there was a domestic violence charge. Now, Nikki went missing on May 18th, 2024, and it's suspicious because 2 weeks before that, or 2 weeks after she went missing, she was supposed to testify against her husband in the domestic violence abuse case. So that is suspicious. Although her husband, Tyler McCain, is not a suspect in her disappearance, it is a suspicious missing person. Not to mention that the last time that Nikki's sisters heard from her was a text message that said that she was going to be delivering her mother-in-law's vehicle to her mother-in-law's home. Well, apparently the mother-in-law has said that I believe the car was delivered, and as far as what I know, is the mother-in-law has said that Nikki didn't Uber out of here. So somebody gave her a ride. I don't know. And there's not much information surrounding that. It's kind of tight-lipped, and probably because there's an investigation going on, and the family hasn't said much. And so what happens is on May 25th, they find her car, Nikki's car, not the mother-in-law's car. They find her car in a remote area in Shasta County. That's where this is located. And it's a very close, or right up next to, Indian casino. And that casino is the Wind River Resort Casino. And that casino is on tribal lands. Now, as it turns out, Tyler McCain, Nikki's husband, he's a member of the tribe, and so are his relatives, and they have positions or had positions in the tribal government. And the tribe is called Redding Rancheria. So this Redding Rancheria tribe owns a casino. And so naturally, since her car was found near there on May 25th, searchers wanted to search the area and the property of the casino. And as it turns out, they've been limited by the casino. And as it turns out, the casino and the tribal land there is owned by the Redding Rancheria, who are putting limits on where they can search, how long they can search, and what areas are available to be searched, which is kind of strange. What's even stranger is that the family has requested videotape of the surrounding areas. The casino has cameras all over. So they've requested videotapes of the night that she went missing, and also the day that her car was found parked on the side of the road near the casino. And the casino has said, well, we don't know if we have those videos. We don't know. And it's bizarre. And one of the things I learned is a colleague of mine has a case against a casino here in California in the desert. And he had to be admitted to practice in the tribal court, their court. So this tribe, Redding Rancheria, it has its own court, it has its own government, it's its own entity, it's a sovereign nation. And let me just show you if I can. I'm going to try this. So this is the tribal court, and it says an important aspect in protecting Redding Rancheria's position as a sovereign government is the provision of its own tribal court. And so they have their own court, which deals with children's court, tribal employment matters, marriage and marriage dissolutions, on-reservation torts, and contracts and workers' compensation. Now, torts is personal injury if you're injured on the property. And so one of my colleagues, like I said, has a case where a woman slipped and fell in a casino. And he's been trying to get the video of the incident. I mean, the casinos have videos everywhere for security purposes. And I mean, that you can see the cameras everywhere, at least where I've gone. And so he's been trying to get the video of the slip and fall, and he's done a motion to compel, and the tribe is saying that it's protected under trade secret, proprietary information, which is very strange. And it looks like the tribal court, in his case, is siding with the tribe. Now, I don't know the outcome yet of what's going to happen, whether he's going to get the video or not. But it seems that these casinos in tribal lands, the law is in their favor completely. And there's not much we can do about it because it's their court, it's their nation. Even though it's in California, it's in the United States, they're a sovereign nation. And so they do have their government, and I'll post the link to the Redding Rancheria website, and it shows what their government is and how they operate. So the challenge in trying to get people to search for Nikki has been trying to get access to certain areas that are owned by the tribe. And like I said, Tyler McCain is a member of that tribe. His family has positions or had positions high up in the chain of government. Now, Tyler McCain, of note, has not searched for his wife. I mean, it could be because there was animosity, which is understandable, but still, she's a mother of his children. And you would think that at least he'd be posting up missing persons flyers, things like that. But from what I've heard, he has not been doing any of that. Now, the Redding Rancheria tribe has put up a certain amount for a reward. I believe it's up to 30,000. It might be more now, but I'm not sure. I think other people or entities are contributing into that. But initially, the Redding Rancheria tribe has put up money for a reward, leading to the information finding Nikki McCain. So what's happened now, what's even made this more suspicious, is that on July 4th, around there was a fire, a wildfire called the Olinda Fire. And in California, we name our fires. They all have names. And so this Olinda Fire started that burned 96 acres. And guess where the fire was at? It started right near or next to the home of Tyler and Nikki McCain. And Tyler has said that, yes, I parked my car over dry grass and something about a catalytic converter, and it burned, started a fire. Well, the car was burned. The property, well, interestingly enough, the home was not burned, but the property next to the home is just burnt to a crisp. And that was on July 4th, around there. Now, I just learned the other day that another fire started near the casino, and it's called the Yolie-Yo fire. And it happened on July 2nd. And I understand, based on what I've heard from JLR and his sources, and I'll post the link to the JLR episode that I'm speaking of in the description box, that this Yolie-Yo fire is being investigated because, it's being investigated as suspicious, and part of the reason it's related to the Nikki McCain case is because it burned near a relative of Tyler McCain. So the relative owns property near the casino, and this Yolie-Yo fire started right next to that property. Now, was the property burned? The structure? No, not to my knowledge. It was to the side of the property. So it's unclear whether those areas had been searched. And that's what I'm trying to find out. But, what's happened as a result of Nikki being missing is that the domestic violence charges against her abuser, her husband, they've been dropped by the district attorney. Why? Because they can't locate Nikki, and she's the main witness against him. Now, I watched an episode of Nancy Grace, and I'll also post that in the description box, where she's talking to a prosecutor about these, and also Jennifer Coffindaffer had an episode, and I'll post that in the description box as well, where they're talking about these charges being dismissed. And, there are other ways to prove domestic violence aside from having the testimony of the victim. For example, Nikki went to the hospital, and she also told her family what occurred right after she escaped from her house because her husband was tired of beating her, and she escaped. So there's somebody that she told immediately after, and that could be considered an excited utterance. And under the law, in evidence, excited utterance is admissible in court if it's determined to be an excited utterance, and there's certain criteria, which I think this would fit, depending on how soon she told her family about the incident where she escaped. She also went to the hospital at her family's urging, and she sought help and treatment for her injuries. And that's all documented and recorded, and hopefully they took pictures. If not, I'm sure Nikki's family may have taken pictures of her injuries. And so there's other ways of proving it. And so we're puzzled as to why the domestic violence charges were dismissed. And also, he is not a suspect in her disappearance. So we're wondering why that is. And there have been protests at the courthouse by Nikki's family who are, protesting because they want the charges reinstated. They have a year and a half now from the time that this incident happened, because the incident happened in early December 2023. And so, they have, I guess the statute of limitations is 3 years. So they have 2.5 years to refile. So just because the charges were dismissed, that doesn't mean that he can't be recharged. It just means they're just not enough evidence because Nikki is missing. Now, I hope they're investigating Nikki's disappearance. I believe that they are. However, Mr. McCain, her husband, is not a suspect as of yet. But, you have these 2 suspicious fires. You have this connection with the tribal land and the casino. You have the casino limiting searches. You have the casino saying, well, we don't know if we have footage, and nothing more that I know of. And that kind of corresponds with my colleague's case, that they are saying they don't want to give the footage because they believe that it's proprietary and trade secret. And it seems like the tribal court is agreeing with the casino. So I wanted to bring to light that these tribal Native American lands, they do have their own government. And just like in any government, there could be some corruption. And I'm not saying that there is with the Redding Rancheria tribe, but it's just like any other government. And so that's what prompted me to do this video, to see if anybody has had any experience in searching tribal lands and how to best go about it. Now, I understand that, there's a connection here with Tyler McCain and the land and being a member of the tribe. But I'm just wondering if anybody has had any experience, like hands-on experience, those who do searches for missing people, if they've ever had any experience with tribal lands and how to go about it. And can they just limit you? I mean, can they just limit you and say, nope, you can't search here, you can't search there? Because according to Nancy Grace, they don't even need to let the federal government on their property. So my question is if anybody has had experience, and if so, what has that experience been? And any tips for for Nikki McCain's family as to how to organize a search beyond what they're allowed to search? I don't know if there's an answer to that, but it's definitely a question that I have. Now, the other thing, the fires. I'm wondering, if those fires, I know one of them, the one that happened before July 4th, the Yolie-Yo-law fire is being investigated. The Olinda fire that started as a result of Tyler parking his car over dry grass and something about a catalytic converter. I don't really know the whole details, but you're not supposed to park on dry grass when you in California, because it's just something you don't do. Surely he would have known that. So he admitted to doing that, and the California fire, they gave him a citation for it. So he does have a citation for that. And because there's no evidence that he intentionally did it, he negligently did it, I guess. But it's becoming very strange, and these fires and this tribal land and everything is making it very, very difficult for people to search. So Nikki McCain is still missing from Shasta County. She has kids who are with Nikki's family members. Nikki's family members are spreading the word. They're using all types of social media and going on podcasts and talking about their sister and what she went through and how she was so private. She was so private about a relationship. But But her sister started noticing things, and at some point it became so bad that the children were, and I'm not sure if they were actually removed by the court or if the family intervened and it was thought that the children would be better off with Nikki's family members. But in any event, the children were out of the house with family members, Nikki's family members, when this abuse occurred, where she had to escape after her husband was tired of beating her. Now, I hope that they do find Nikki. And I hope that the district attorney, even though they don't find Nikki, if they're not ever able to find Nikki, I hope that the district attorney considers recharging Tyler McCain for the domestic violence, because there has to be some way to do it without her testimony. And it's just a very, very sad case. And, you know, to just be careful when you're on tribal property or a casino, because if you get injured, like seriously injured, it might be hard to recover compensation. You know, I mean, if you don't have the health insurance and somehow you're hit, you slip and fall, you suffer a major injury, it might be hard for you to get compensation, because it's not regular court, it's tribal court that governs those types of cases. So just be careful. I mean, other than that, I don't know what else to say about this case. Other than I just don't know how it's possible that they could have their own rules and limit searches, especially when they're searching for some woman who is a victim of domestic violence and who could be located in that area, possibly passed away. So those are my thoughts. Let me know if you have any thoughts, and I will catch you on the next time.